Namaste. Welcome to the second episode of Stories Untold as Nruthya Kathe by Deepthi Parthasarathy. Today we are going to see how Ganesha came to be called as EKADANTA. The story begins with Parashurama visiting Mount Kailasha. But why was Parashurama in Kailasha in the first place? After winning the battle against Kartivirya Arjuna, Parashurama visits Kailasha to offer salutations to his guru, Lord Shiva. Shiva gave him the Parashu Astra, which is a battle axe, which Parashurama always holds in his hand, and also the Krishna Kavacha, which is an Astra. These two weapons led Parashurama to victory. It is said that Parashurama was capable of moving at the speed of thought, much like today's teleportation. So he thought about Kailasha and he was there. As soon as Parashurama visited Kailasha, he was astounded by the beauty of the city. It is said that Vishwakarma was the architect of Kailasha. After offering salutations to Nandi, who was the Vahana of Lord Shiva, Nandi was also a very vigilant gatekeeper. Anybody who entered Kailasha needed to take permission from Nandi before they went and met Lord Shiva. And Parashurama did the same. So he took permission from Nandi and he reached Shivalaya. Soon after Parashurama reached Shivalaya, there was one another god waiting there at the entrance. And it was none other than Ganesha. As soon as Ganesha saw Parashurama, Ganesha offered his salutation and he said, Kshanam Tishta, wait for a moment. But why did Ganesha ask Parashurama to wait for a moment? Because Shiva and Parvati were resting in their inner sanctum. Parashurama was so eager to go and meet Shiva and Parvati that as soon as he reached Shivalaya, he entered him. But Ganesha again said, wait for a moment, Shiva and Parvati are resting and have asked for no one to come and disturb them. But Parashurama says, please, I will go in and come back in 2 minutes. I will not take a lot of their time. But Ganesha says, listen, I will go get their permission and then you can go meet them. But Parashurama gets very angry. He says, Shiva is Jagat Pita and Parvati is Jaganmata. She is like a mother to the entire world and both of them will not deny if I want to go meet them. Please Ganesha, let me inside. Parashurama was being the most patient of himself. Listening to whatever that was happening between the two of them, Kartikeya or Lord Muruga comes in. He looks at the two of them and he asks, why are you guys squabbling? So Ganesha says, see, Parashurama wants to go meet Shiva and Parvati, but they are resting and have asked for privacy. I am asking him to wait and he is not listening to me. So Kartikeya or Lord Muruga says, oh Bhruguputra, you are like a brother to us because you are our father's pupil. I'm pretty sure that Shiva will love to meet you, but all you have to do is wait. Parashurama gets very angry. He attacks Ganesha again. But Ganesha says, look Parashurama, I am not some king like Kartivirya Arjuna or the other 21 kings that you killed. You don't know my strength. So just have a little bit of patience. But Parashurama gets very, very angry. He draws his battle axe and just when he's about to strike, Ganesha, who's very smart, he knows and he anticipates what Parashurama is going to do. So Ganesha extends his trunk and lifts Parashurama off the ground and takes him around the entire universe. For Ganesha, it's like a playful ride, like going on a giant wheel. So he takes Parashurama around all the 3 worlds, above the Meru Parvata, the 7 oceans, and finally Ganesha takes him on a ride to Vaikunta. As soon as they reach Vaikunta, Parashurama regains his consciousness and somehow he escapes from the grip of Ganesha's very strong trunk and they reach Kailasha. What happens as soon as they reach Kailasha? Parashurama's anger is uncontrollable. He draws his battle axe and he strikes towards Ganesha. The battle axe goes and hits Ganesha's tusk and comes back to Parashurama's hand. Doesn't this sound very similar to one of the Avengers movie? That's exactly what happened. As soon as Parashurama's axe hit Ganesha's left tusk, the left tusk broke into two portions. The tusk fell on the ground with a huge thud, like as if a mountain fell on the ground. Listening to the sound, Shiva and Parvati came to the scene of whatever that was happening. Parvati asked Kartikeya, "What happened? What did your brother do?" Like all mothers ask when their child has been very naughty. So Kartikeya explains the rift that was happening between the two people to Shiva and Parvati. Parvati gets so angry and she's so disappointed that her husband's student has harmed her own son. Just as she's about to curse Parashurama, she sees that there is a small boy walking in who is as bright as 1,000 suns. Who was this small boy? Now, this small boy had a brilliant face. He wore a white drape. He had a sacred thread. He had a tilaka on his forehead. He wore a small crown, earrings, and bracelet which was studded with precious gems. He had a staff in his left hand and an umbrella in his right hand, and he looked something like this. And Vishnu's disguised form looked very similar to Vamanavatara. He comes and he says, "I am here on listening to all the commotion that happened around the world, and I'm here to protect my devotee." Vishnu says, whatever Parashurama did was not right. It is wrong to harm the teacher or their family just because they requested you to wait and respect their wishes. Hence, he looks at Parashurama and he says that you must apologize to Parvati and Ganesha for your mistakes by reciting a prayer. He looks at Parvati and he says, just like Ganesha and Muruga are your sons, isn't Parashurama also your son? Because he's Shiva's student. So please forgive them, being the mother of the entire universe. Parvati says, okay, let that be. So Parashurama goes on the banks of a river. He takes a dip. He does his achamya and then he recites the prayer of Ganesha and Parvati with tears in his eyes because he realizes that what he did was wrong. Parvati blesses him and she says, you will see victory wherever you go and you will only see success in your life. And this is how Ganesha came to be called as EKADANTA. See you all in the next episode with another interesting story. Namaste.